you. Well, Republicans in North Carolina and nationally are assessing the potential fallout surrounding Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. And today, there's growing pressure for him to drop out of the governor's race, which could have large implications in the presidential election. According to a CNN report, Robinson allegedly made several comments on a pornographic website, including calling himself a black Nazi and supporting slavery. The comments were made more than a decade ago, and he does deny the allegations. Former President Trump had endorsed Robinson back in March, but recently declined to have the lieutenant governor attend a campaign event in North Carolina. Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, also did not have Robinson attend a rally in the Tar Heel state earlier this week. NewsNation's Brooke Schaefer is following all of these developments. And Brooke, the lieutenant governor is vowing to stay in that race.
Nichole, Mark Robinson had until midnight to drop out of the race, be replaced on the ticket as the Republican nominee for the governor of North Carolina. But that deadline, as we saw, came and went, with Robinson defiant that he is not dropping out, despite this bombshell reporting from CNN centering around racist and lewd comments that Robinson allegedly made on an online pornography message board over a decade ago, before the now lieutenant governor of North Carolina was in office, including calling himself a black Nazi. CNN saying that Robinson, in one post from 2010, even wrote, quote, "Slavery is not bad. Some people need to be slaves. I wish they would bring it back. I would certainly buy a few," end quote. NewsNation has not independently confirmed those comments, which CNN said were made by an account which shares several biographical details and an email address with Robinson. He has called the reporting salacious tabloid lies.
Let me reassure you, the things that you will see in that story, those are not the words of Mark Robinson. You know my words, you know my character, and you know that I have been completely transparent in this race and before. Well, today is June 6th.
All right, but this isn't the first time that Robinson has found himself defending or explaining controversial comments, including these in 2019, where he spoke about abortion in a video posted to his Facebook page.
It's about abortion on demand. That is exactly what it's about. It's about killing a child because you weren't responsible enough to keep your skirt down or your pants up.
Robinson, who once supported a complete abortion ban, now has said that in advertisements, that he stands by his state's 12-week abortion ban, with exceptions for things like incest and rape. The man who could become the first black governor of North Carolina has been endorsed by former President Trump, who at a campaign rally this year referred to Robinson as Martin Luther King on steroids. Nichole?
All right, so Brooke, what else is the Trump campaign saying about this? And again, it's reporting and its potential impact on the presidential race.
Yeah, there are already questions today, Nichole, about whether this could potentially hurt former President Trump's chances in the battleground state of North Carolina, where the polling today in the race for the White House is nearly tied. Here's NewsNation political contributor and former Trump White House Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney.
That has to be a drag on the Trump ticket. There's no question. Right. Keep in mind, and I've just received this from my Democrat friends, there's quotes, there's going to be some ads run that say it's a video of Donald Trump saying, we have to cherish Mark Robinson. Yep, you have to cherish him. He's like fine wine. He's an outstanding person. That ad is going to run in North Carolina, which is a swing state from start to finish. It's going to be a problem for Trump.
All right, the Harris campaign, for their part today, released a new TV ad in North Carolina highlighting Mr. Trump's relationship with Robinson. A Harris campaign spokesperson on X wrote, quote, "Donald Trump has a Mark Robinson problem." But the Trump campaign, for their part, sources within the campaign in a lengthy message to NewsNation denied this recent reporting and denied claims that former President Trump is pressuring Robinson to drop out of the race. Nichole?
All right, Brooke Schaefer following all of that. Brooke, thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.